Welcome back to Ron's Life. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining today. In today's episode, we are going to perform a very controversial mod.
This is ridiculous.
Or add-on for the Corvette C8 Stingray sitting behind me. But first, we have to go pick it up from the store. Let's go. All right, we are back at the Don's Life garage. We have unloaded the merchandise. That is right, it is a cargo box by Enthuze. This one's called the Quest. They make a number of them. We'll get into that in more detail in a bit. But we are going to install this new cargo box on the C8 Corvette because why not?
It makes no sense.
But right now the Corvette C8 is far too dirty to continue with this video. Let's go get it washed and then I'll show you just how easy it is to install something like this on something like this.
Simple.
Let's go. All right, the car's nice and clean. Now we can start with the install, but I think we should kind of do an overview of the box first and talk about some of the basic specs. So this is the Quest cargo box by Enthuze. Really, it's designed to be universal, which many are, but this is a universal application, so why not throw it on a sports car, right? 460 liters of volume, which is about 121 gallons. Believe it or not, this one is 70 inches long. It doesn't look like it, at least not in person, but I measured it and it's actually 70 inches long, just about 32 inches wide, 31 and a half, I think. And then the height is about 13.8 inches. So I know it'll definitely fit on here. You're probably wondering, how are you gonna do that? Don't worry, I'll show you. It's gonna be simple. But speaking of simple, this also ships with very easy twist knob tightening clamps. So that'll make installation a breeze. And contrary to popular belief, these are not seat belts. You're not going to put a person in there.
Please don't do that.
Obviously joking, but there are some tie-down straps as well to help keep your cargo secure. One really cool feature of this box is it opens from both sides, so we don't just have to be on one side of the vehicle when we open it. Once I get it ready to be fitted on the car, we'll play around with that a little more, but let's talk about how we're going to secure this. Now, before everyone loses their minds on trying to figure out the merits of installing a cargo box on a Corvette C8 or a sports car for that matter, part of it's for fun, but it could actually be practical. We do a lot of road trips, or are planning to in this car. Of course, my wife is always my co-pilot, and I know that we're gonna bring more shoes than we need, more outfits than we need. And when I say we, I mean her. And of course, there's gonna be shopping that we don't need. Again, her. So we're gonna need extra space. This allows us that option. And I'm gonna show you how we can easily install this and how you could apply it to really any vehicle. So to help us with this universal install, we've got a universal installation kit from Seasucker called their Monkey Bar Kit, which is going to give us 6 suction cups, a couple crossbars to strap the box to the roof here, or suction it down to the roof here. It's rated for up to 165 pounds, and it should be fine for all the speed limits that exist on the roads that we're going to be using. Of course, I'm not going to track the car with something like this. That would be irresponsible and silly.
Somebody has to be responsible.
So if you've ever seen Seasuckers in action before, very easy to use. Make sure they're clean. That's why they were sitting on a rag here. So I got no debris, no sand, no grit. The surface that I'm putting them to is clean. Now this is glass. This is PPF on top of my paint, and that's PPF as well, so we're not gonna wreck anything. They shouldn't wreck your paint anyway if they're clean, but just in case, it's nice to know that I have that. But we'll find out where we're gonna have to put these. And then even with one hand, I just put a little bit of pressure down, start pumping till the bar is no longer visible. And now it is secure. And to get it off, just break the seal with your fingers. And then we can take it off. So you pump it until this bar goes away. Easy. So before I put these on the roof and decide exactly where they're gonna go, I need to measure the tracks and the distance that the tracks are apart from each other on the box itself. So let's flip this over and take some measurements. Okay, we have it flipped over. And I'm just resting these clamps approximately where the maximum spacing would be. course, we can always move them inwards, but you see we have these tracks here. That's where these clamps are going to penetrate through. They've got a weather stripping on them. That way we can avoid getting, water and moisture into the cargo box from underneath. But you can see this track will probably allow for 36 inches of spacing. Yes, it goes a little further, but the problem is these claws need a little bit of room as well. So it's probably going to be at maximum right there. And then these claws come together to grip the bar. So it's probably usable from here all the way to here, which is 36 inches. So that's kind of the distance that we're looking at when it comes to spacing the bars. One in the front, so we'll put a bar here, and then we'll measure back up to 36 inches. We could make it a little shorter, that's fine. We just can't go past 36 inches. So that's gonna put the box kind of on the middle of the car where it's at its highest spot. In an upcoming video, or videos, I'm not sure how many it's gonna take, I am going to do some custom racking, which is gonna bring the box farther back to match the slope of the windshield and come right back over the back here. And we'll still be able to use this hatch, have it open up, kind of. That's the plan anyway. So I'll give you a little bit of preview into that plan after we get the box put on the top here, as it would be for most universal applications. I put the tape measure right in the middle of the track there. It comes to 19.5 inches. So our distance left to right, 19.5 inches. A couple things right off the bat. Height is also important. So if I was to use a double suction cup up at the front, as opposed to this single, you notice the single is quite a bit lower. And the last thing I want is the box to sit up like this. If anything, I want it flat, but if I have to have a downward slope, that would be better than a back slope. So what we're going to have to do is move these probably closer to the back, something like that. And then these ones here. I also want it to be aesthetically pleasing. Now, I realize that a big box on here might not be aesthetically pleasing, but at least we can have the suction cups so these plungers face backwards and not face forward like that. So I think what we'll do is something like that. Still got to figure out placement, but if I look at the height, it is lower in the front, which is what we want. We don't want higher in the front. So it's probably going to be something like this. I just got to play around with the measurements. All right, I think we have it placed. We're about 26 inches front to back, and the 19.5 inches we need to clamp will be just inside these rings right here. I've also lined up the middle joint here as kind of the center, so the bars, stick out the same distance. You can buy these bars in longer versions. Mine are the 4-foot versions, but you could cut them down if you wanted to and put these plastic caps back on. I'm probably not going to do that because I'll probably use these on some of the other vehicles. But I think we are almost ready to go. So now we just have to tighten up these bolts. We got the bolt down here, which keeps the hinge going left to right, and then this clamp will hold on to the bar. So let me tighten those up quick, and then we'll lift the box on top. Okay, it is on there, not secured yet. The bars are secure, but now we got to secure it to the bars, which means we need to install these tightening clamps. But first, we're going to need to open the box. Remember, this can open from both sides. We're going to open it from this side. We'll have to be delicate because it's not mounted yet. So now it's unlocked, and we're just going to slowly lift it up. It's not secure, so it's going to be a little bit wonky. There we go. So that is it right there. Now the clamps are going to go into these tracks. So let's get started with that. Okay, let's start with the front one here. Now, as I suspected when I measured on the outside, remember I told you that this would need a little bit of space, and we have these tie-down anchors right here for those orange straps. So yeah, these are going to sit in a little bit, making the usable space. actually start back here. So maybe a little less than 36 inches. There, that was easy just to push through and the claws come through. But we need to do it over top of the bar. So we are going to line it up here, give it a little push, and now the clamps are there. I'm gonna put all of them on first before I tighten them up. Okay, let's tighten it down. You can see we have these locks here to stop them from backing off. So you want them in the unlock position. So you push this little recessed area there, and then just start tightening. I'm using quite a bit of force. Lock that one off. Better make sure I'm straight. Make sure this is straight this way. And it's got to go that way a little bit. There. Well, my friends, we have a cargo box or ski box on a Corvette C8 sports car. That is on there really, really well. Now its placement, I just put in the middle for now. Like I said, we're going to look at a custom rack to bring it closer to the back. But I want to show you a couple things that make this mounting location convenient. So I'm just going to open the trunk. See, I got some storage space there. But check this out. I still have all the usable space back here, which part of the reason I ordered this medium-sized one, because I calculated in advance, if I wanted to put it here, would I still be able to have access to the back? So I know I have that option. All right, before we take the Enthuze cargo box out on a bit of a shakedown or a road test, I want to show you how we're eventually going to relocate it further back, because my final goal, I want the front slope of the box to be in line with the window. So you can just imagine how far back that would need to be. Now to do that, I have a buddy of mine that lent me some rails. So I'm gonna get these fabricated. Little different design, but very close to this, because he already had these on a C8 he previously owned. But what this will do is it will allow us to mount back here all the way onto the lid, and then we can move this box backwards. Now I've already done some basic engineering, and we'll be able to take the box off, leave the rails in place, and still open the trunk. So you can see with those quick releases, we could take the box off, get to the trunk if we needed to, put the backs back on, clamp it down, call it a 5-minute job, and we'd have all the cargo space necessary for a really long road trip. So if you're interested in seeing this project come to fruition, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because I want to give you guys insight into how to do projects like this. So if you ever want to do something silly like put a cargo box on a sports car, you'll have ideas on how to achieve that. Well, I have to say I'm pretty happy. We have not had anything come loose. We did a ton of driving today. Got it up to about 100 kilometers per hour, so 60 miles per hour. A little bit of wind noise, nothing obnoxious, but everything's nice and tight. You always want to make sure to double check. Make sure to double check the clamps inside. They are good, nothing's backed off. And always make sure you lock it. That way it doesn't open on you. I know it's goofy, but I think it's also fun.
I really like it.
I think it'll be good once we can relocate it to the back. But like I said, that's in an upcoming video or two. So definitely check out Enthuze's website. I'll leave a link in the video description below. But they have a lot more to offer than just cargo carriers. This one again is the Quest model. It's kind of a medium-sized cargo carrier, just about 6 feet long. But my goal again was just to show you how easy you could install this yourself. And again, I believe we achieved that. This is where we're going to end today's video. If you liked it, please hit that like button. Please consider subscribing. We'll talk to you next time.